I invested $500 into the ULTY ETF. Yes, that YieldMax ETF people keep talking about. And I held it for 20 days. I didn't go in expecting to become a millionaire overnight, but I did want to see what all the hype was about. Weekly payouts? Options-based income? Sounds like a sweet deal. Or maybe a trap. Let me walk you through exactly what happened with my $500, how much income I made, what surprised me, and most importantly, whether or not it's worth it for someone like you. ULTY is the YieldMax Ultra Option Income Strategy ETF. In short, it's an income-focused ETF that generates yield through covered calls on portfolio of 100-plus large-cap stocks. That's right. You're not directly investing into these shares, but the ETF uses these stocks as its underlying asset to run an option strategy. And the goal? To squeeze out weekly income for investors like you and me. Now, when I say weekly, I mean it. ULTY pays a dividend literally every week. That's 52 payouts in a year. So I figured, hey, let's drop $500 in and track the results over the next 20 days. That's just under 3 weeks. Enough to see a few distributions roll in and get a sense of what this ETF actually delivers. Let's talk numbers. I bought ULTY when the share price was around $6.26. So with $500, I was able to get about 80 shares. Now, ULTY's dividend yield isn't fixed. It fluctuates based on options income. But at the time of investing, its 12-month trailing yield was around 122% annually. That's right. 122%. Insane, right? But again, it's a yield from an option strategy, not from company profits like traditional dividend stocks. So I held ULTY for 20 days. And during that time, I received 3 dividend payments. Remember, this ETF pays every Friday. The average payout per share for those 3 weeks was about 10 cents per share. Multiply that by my 80 shares, and in just 20 days, I earned roughly $24 in income. Now, $24 might not seem like much, but let's break it down. That's 4.8% of my initial investment in just 20 days. Annualized, that would be over 86% if the pace continued consistently, which is incredibly high compared to most income ETFs. If I had put in $5,000 instead of $500, that same pace would have earned me about $240 in 3 weeks. Now let's talk about price movement, because the income is only one part of the equation. Over those 20 days, ULTI's share price went from $6.41 down to about $6.26, a drop of roughly 2.3%. So I lost about $11 in unrealized value, which basically wiped out my income gains. And this is key. Because while ULTY pays out fat dividends, the share price can fluctuate a lot, especially because it's tied to options premiums. Stock is volatile, and so is ULTI by nature. So if you're buying ULTY just for the income, you better not care too much about the share price, at least in the short term. But if you're looking for capital appreciation or a stable ETF that grows in value, ULTY probably isn't the right choice. Now, here's what most people misunderstand about ETFs like ULTY. This isn't a buy and hold forever ETF. This is more like a tactical income tool. It's designed to generate cash, not to grow in share value over time. And because it pays weekly, ULTY is a favorite among investors looking for frequent income. Retirees, FIRE folks, or even people just looking to stack some passive cash flow. But that income comes with risks. No guarantee of future payouts. If Tesla's volatility drops or premiums shrink, your income drops. Price erosion over time is very real. Covered call strategies cap your upside so the ETF might lag the broader market or Tesla itself. And lastly, it's tax inefficient. These payouts are taxed as ordinary income, not qualified dividends, unless you hold ULTY in a tax-advantaged account like a Roth IRA. So, would I invest more? Honestly, yes, but with caution. If you're someone who loves to see money hit your account every week, even small amounts, ULTY gives you that dopamine rush. It's like getting a mini paycheck from the market. But if you're investing for long-term growth, you're better off with ETFs like SCHD, VOO, or JEPI. ULTY plays a different game. It's not about building wealth over decades. It's about extracting income now. And you have to be okay with a few things. Watching your share price move like a roller coaster, not getting any of Tesla's upside, and knowing that your high income can dry up if the options market cools off. So after my 20-day experiment, I'm still holding ULTY, and I'll probably keep holding it as a small part of my income portfolio. Maybe even rotate it with other YieldMax ETFs like MSTY, APLY, or NVDY, just to diversify the risk. But I wouldn't go all in on it, and I definitely wouldn't rely on it as my only source of passive income. Now let's zoom out for a second. If you're thinking about building a weekly income strategy, here's a quick tip. You can create a weekly dividend ladder by combining multiple YieldMax ETFs that pay on different Fridays. For example, Week 1, ULTY pays out. Week 2, MSTY pays out. Week 3, APLY pays out. Week 4, NVDY pays out. This way, you're spreading your risk across multiple strategies and still getting paid weekly. And if you want to mix in more stability, pair these with monthly dividend ETFs like JEPI-QYLD or even RYLD. That way, you're not entirely relying on one ETF's performance. Bottom line, ULTY is not a scam. It's not a get-rich-quick vehicle, but it is a high-risk, high-yield tool that can generate cash flow if you use it wisely. I turned $500 into $24 in just 20 days. Not life-changing, but it gave me a real taste of what this ETF offers and how it fits into an income-focused strategy. As always, this isn't financial advice, just a stickman sharing what happened with my money. Let me know if you've tried ULTY or other YieldMax ETFs and how they've worked for you. I read every comment. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to Money Stick Unfiltered, where we keep it honest, simple, and all about building smart income. See you in the next one.